axiomatic truth. We cannot experiment, we cannot estimate, or we cannot see. We cannot see the Vedas or the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Then how do we understand the Vedic knowledge? Listen again. By listening and listening and listening from our authority, we understand the nectar of the Vedic knowledge goes in the ears, and then it goes in the heart, and it purifies the heart, and then the soul gets awakened. So Krishna says again and again, ninth chapter also, first verse, he said, now listen. Here also he says, listen. Seventh chapter also he says, listen. Eighth chapter also he says, listen. So it's so important to listen. And what is our ratio? We have 2 ears and one mouth. So we have to listen from our authority. And Krishna is the authority. And he says, I shall impart to you for your benefit, which will give you great joy. So Krishna wants us to have great joy, joyful life, glorious death. Don't live like cats and dogs. Don't die like cats and dogs. Glorious. This is what Bhagavad Gita is. Name vidhu sura ganaha prabhavam na mahar shayaha aham adirhi devana maharshi nam cha sarvasaha. Neither the host of demigods nor the great sages know my origin, for in every respect I am the source of the demigods and the sages. He who knows me as the unborn, as the beginningless, as the supreme lord of all the worlds, he undiluted among men is freed from all sins. This is very important. Krishna says, I am the origin in every respect of everything. Great sages, demigods, everything is coming from Krishna. So it is not possible for us to know Krishna. Why? Because Krishna is our source. You know, I can tell when I was a little girl, I used to think my mother had no life before I was born to her. Because I couldn't understand because that she was a human being, she had a life before. Because she's my mother, similarly, it's hard to understand Krishna. And Krishna himself, whatever Krishna himself says, we must accept it. So Krishna is saying that I am the origin, accept it. Krishna says all the demigods come from me. Okay, Krishna. And Krishna says all the great sages come from me. I am the origin. Okay, Krishna. So there is a way to say yes to Krishna. Bhagavad Gita teaches us how can we say yes, Krishna, yes. And that yes, I attended a seminar a couple of years ago in one of the retreats with devotees. That the topic of the seminar was saying yes to Krishna. And when Mataji took class, and she said, yes is you empower self. So when we say yes to Krishna, we are empowering ourselves. It takes courage to say yes to Krishna. Devotees are not people that who have nothing else to do. No, no, no. They are very courageous. They are fighting against all odds to say yes to Krishna. And Krishna says, "Who he who knows me as the unborn." Krishna does not take birth. Yesterday we discussed it in detail. You know, Prabhupada says, if someone says that sun is rising on the east side, that doesn't mean that the east side is the mother of the sun, right? Sun is choosing east side to come. So that way Krishna comes through his devotees. This is Mother Devaki, sorry. So Krishna is appearing in this world through her, but that doesn't mean that before this Krishna was not existing. No, Krishna was always existing, beginningless. As the supreme lord of all the worlds, he undiluted among men is freed from all sins. So the Dhrida Vrataha or Vyavasatmika Buddhi or Sthita Dhir Muni, those devotees, or they are called Uttamadhikari. How do they become Uttamadhikari? By realizing this. And they become free from all sins. There are 4 kinds of sinful reactions we suffer. Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhupada explains it in great detail in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Some of the sinful reactions are apparent right now. They're called Phalanmukha. It's apparent. We are suffering because of that. Some of the sinful reactions will come very soon, later in life, but very soon it will come. Some of the sinful reactions will only manifest in future lives, Kutam and Bijam. So there are so many sinful reactions, but devotee who has gotten rid of all these sinful reactions can understand Krishna. So 7 great sages, and before them the 4 other great sages, and the Manus, progenitor of mankind, are born out of my mind, and all the creatures in these planets descend from them. So Krishna's mind produces these things. 4 great sages, 7 great sages, the Manus are born out of my mind, and they are responsible for populating the universe thereafter. So he's saying it. What did he say so far about his opulence? He said, I'm beginningless. He said, I'm unborn. He said, no one can know me because I'm the source of all the sages and demigods. And from my mind comes all these demigods and seven great sages and manus. Everybody is coming from Krishna's mind. Etam vibhutim yogam cha mamayo veti tatvataha. So avikalpena yogena yujyate natra samshayaha. He who knows in truth this glory and power of mind engages in unalloyed devotional service. Of this, there is no doubt. Unalloyed devotional service. Unalloyed devotional service means which cannot be checked. It's not dependent on something. It's not like, okay, if I have this much bank balance, then I will do devotional service to Krishna. Or if I have this much money or this much education, then I will do. No, no, no. Unalloyed means unchecked, not dependent on anything. And of this, there is no doubt. So we have to find out such a guru who was checking this box. Somebody knows what painting is this? Please raise your hand very quickly. One person, I'll give chance. What is happening here? What painting is this? Yes? No one is raising hand? I see so many devotees joining again. I know some of the names. What is happening in this painting? Co-host and okay, somebody raised hand. Let's see. Radha, Hare Krishna. Yes, you can unmute yourself.
Krishna enters Mathura.
Yes, very nice. Very nice, Mataji. Thank you. So here, this is explained in Srimad Bhagavatam. Krishna is entering Mathura. This is the gate of Mathura. And the minute Krishna and Balram enter Mathura, Vyasadeva describes this scene very nicely in first canto Srimad Bhagavatam. Everybody just stops doing whatever they are doing. Everybody's attention goes on Krishna and Balram. Krishna is so attractive. Everybody, the people are standing so far away. Animals, look at these cows. Everybody just stops and turns towards Krishna. So attraction. There is so much attraction in Krishna. The women standing on the rooftops, they also look at Krishna. Everybody's attention and eyes just got fixated on Krishna. And devotees are going like mad. Oh my God, Krishna has come. So this is Krishna. And now starts the nectar, the essence of Bhagavad Gita. Aham sarvasya prabhavo matta sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samanvitaha. I am the source of spiritual knowledge. I am the source of all spiritual knowledge. I'm the source of all spiritual and material worlds. Everything emanates from me. The wise who know this perfectly engage in my devotional service and worship me with all their hearts. So all the Vedanta sutras, commentaries, the aim is only one. You know what the aim is? Srila Prabhupada explains it. The aim is sambandha, to establish sambandha, to establish abhidaya, and to establish prayojan. Sambandha means establishing the relationship. Abhidaya means once the relationship is established, what are the activities in that relationship? And prayojana means what is the goal of having that relationship. Prabhupada gives example of a girl getting married to a boy. So there is the sambandha is established, right? The relationship is established, marriage. Then what happens after the sambandha is established? Does the girl go to her father's house and the boy goes to his father's house? No, no, no. They live like grihastas. They live in a grihastha ashram. Why? What are there are activities that's called abhidaya. They live as a grihastha, and those activities are called abhidaya. What is the goal? What is the prayojan? The prayojan is definitely to become Krishna conscious, to assist each other in becoming Krishna conscious, and also to have family. So that way, this verse establishes our sambandha with Krishna. What is the sambandha? I am the source of all spiritual and material world. Everything emanates from me. So Krishna is the creator. We are created. That is the relationship. Matchitta madgata prana bodhayanta parasparam kathayantascha mam nityam tushyanti cha ramanti cha. The thoughts of my pure devotees dwell in me. Their lives are surrendered to me and they derive great pleasure. great satisfaction and bliss, enlightening one another and conversing about me. So, all of you, you're conversing about Krishna, listening about Krishna, great pleasure. So, Shyanti cha Ramanti cha. People cannot understand how can there be so much fun in understanding Krishna consciousness. Well, listen to us, listen to Srila Prabhupada. So, this is Abhidaya. Once the relationship is established, this is the activity in that relationship. What is happening? The pure devotees, the thoughts of my pure devotees dwell in me. So Krishna is constantly thinking about his pure devotees. Their lives are surrendered to me. So the pure devotees surrender their lives to Krishna. Krishna thinks about his devotees. And the devotees, pure devotees, derive great satisfaction and bliss, enlightening one another and conversing about me. This is Srila Prabhupada. I did not share my audio, so I'm just going to share my screen one more time. I apologize, I did not pay attention. Okay, now you'll be able to hear.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
You know this dance where Prabhupada is telling everyone, raise your hands high in the sky, jump on Hare Krishna. This is called Swami dance. This is called as Swami dance. So this is the Abhidaya. And then next two verses establish Prayojan. What is the goal of having this relationship and having the activities in that relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead? तेषां सततयुक्तानां भजतां प्रीतिपूर्वकं तदामि बुद्धियोगं तं येन माम् उपयन्ति ते. To those who are constantly devoted and worship me with love, I give the understanding by which they can come to me. So the prayojan is come to me. And how do we come to him? Because it's very hard. I don't have a Google map or GPS. No, no, no. Krishna says just constantly get devoted to me and worship me with love. So I give the understanding. Krishna makes sure that we will go. Krishna is giving so many sureties. Krishna is sending acharyas. Krishna is giving Bhagavad Gita. Krishna is himself telling that don't worry, you belong to me. Everything is manifested, so you can come back to me. Just love me, just worship me, just chant my holy names. That much we have to do. Tesham evanukampartham aham agyana jam tamaha nashayami aha atma bhavastho bhavastho jnana deepena bhasvataha. Out of compassion for them, I, dwelling in their hearts, destroy with the shining lamp of knowledge the darkness born of ignorance. So Krishna is saying, don't worry, whatever is the blocker or obstacle in your journey back home, I will first of all give you the understanding. And also I'm sitting in your heart. And with this, I will give you the knowledge. And the knowledge will destroy the ignorance. And Krishna proved it so many times. This is Sukhdev Goswami giving knowledge to Parikshit Maharaj. Parikshit Maharaj had 7 days to live. And Parikshit Maharaj asked his guru, what is the duty of a dying man? What is the duty of a dying man? And this is Mother Devahuti taking instructions from Kapila Dev Muni on Sankhya philosophy. This is Narayan Rishi. Now Krishna, Arjuna hears that. So if someone asks you now onwards, what is the essence of Bhagavad Gita? What is the essence of Bhagavad Gita? Tell them 10.8 to 10.11. Sambandha Abhidaya Prayojan. Krishna, I belong to Krishna. Krishna is the creator. I am created. And if someone is a pure devotee of Krishna, Krishna is thinking about the pure devotee, and pure devotee is always thinking about Krishna. And they derive great pleasure about talking and discussing about Krishna. And then what happens? Krishna will make sure that such a person reaches back home. When Arjuna hears all this, see, I'm not a pure devotee, so none of us are in ecstasy. But Krishna spoke this to Arjuna, and Arjuna went in ecstasy. And when he went in ecstasy, he became so happy hearing about it, he offers this prayer to Krishna. Param Brahma, Param Dhama, Pavitram Paramam Bhavan, Purusham Shashvatam Divyam Adi Devam Ajam Vibhum, Ahustvam Srishaya Sarve Devarshi Naradas Tatha Asito Devalo Vyasa Swayam Chaiva Bravishime. Arjuna said, you are the supreme Brahman, Param Brahma, Param Dhama, the ultimate supreme abode and purifier, the absolute truth and the eternal divine person. You are the primal God, the transcendental and original, and you are the unborn and all pervading beauty. All the great sages such as Narada, Asita, Devala, Vyasa proclaimed this of you. Now you yourself are declaring it to me. So Arjuna is offering Krishna prayers. He's saying, Krishna, I understood. You're the pure, supreme Brahman. You're ultimate. You're the ultimate abode in whose body everything is resting. You purify everyone's existence. You're the absolute truth. There is nothing beyond you that needs to be known. And you're an eternal divine person. But somebody may say that Arjuna is a friend of Krishna. So friends and friends, um, friends can praise themselves, right? But immediately he quotes, no, 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 it's not just me, but great sages such as Narada, Asita, Devala, Vyasa are also proclaiming this of you. And now you yourself are declaring it to me. So this is the way of understanding spiritual knowledge. We have to have evidence from our acharyas, from the shastras, from the guru. These are the three. So Arjuna is giving evidence that it's not just me who's realizing this about you, but all these great devotees are also saying the same thing. So I'm not just flattering you, this is the real thing. Sarvam etad ritam manye yanmam vadasi keshava nahi te bhagavan vyaktim vidur deva na danavaha. Oh Krishna, I totally accept as truth all that you have told me. Neither the gods or demons, oh Lord, know thy personality. Remember in the beginning, Krishna said that I am the source of everything, but no one knows me. No one knows Krishna. All the demigods, great sages, everyone is coming from Krishna, but no one knows Krishna in complete. And Arjuna is reaffirming, yes, Krishna, I believe what you're saying is true. Indeed, you alone know yourself by your own potencies, O origin of all, Lord of all beings, God of gods, O Supreme Person, Lord of the universe. So he is getting towards Krishna. No one knows you, only you know yourself. Can you please tell me some more things about you? So that's where we are getting. How should I meditate on you? In what various forms are you to be contemplated, O blessed Lord? Tell me again in detail, O Janardana Krishna, of your mighty potencies and glories, for I never tire of hearing your ambrosial words. So he's asking Krishna, tell me more, because you're telling Satatam Kirtayanto Mam. So I need to know where all can I see you? Where all are you dwelling? Some vibhutis Krishna already told. 7th chapter, Krishna said, I am Rasoham Apsikanteya, Prabhu Ashmi Suryaha. Like I am the taste, Rasoham Apsikanteya. I am the taste of the liquid, Prabhu Ashmi Suryaha. I am the light of the sun and moon. I am the syllable Om. I am the intelligence in a man. So some things he already said, but now he's gonna sell more and more. The blessed Lord said, yes, I will tell you of my splendorous manifestations, but only of those which are prominent, O Arjuna, for my opulence is limitless. Okay, so this is going to be a little painful. I'm going to copy my teacher. Namanishta Prabhu is my teacher. I'm trained under him. I'm very fortunate, and so are all of you to be under him. Please stay with him. He can handle us. You know, not every teacher is able to handle their students, but Namanishta Prabhu is able to handle. He's been handling me. 18 years have passed, and I still bother him. Okay, so I'm gonna ask all of you to unmute and please let's follow Vaishnava etiquette. And when I ask, then you speak. Who is this?
Hare
Who is
Krishna Mataji.
Indra,
when?
Airavata,
Airavata. Shiva.
Ishvara, Shiva, Uchasthaya,
Uche.
Uchestrava.
Brahma.
Brahma.
Hanuman.
Hanuman, Rama,
Rama.
Job.
Narada.
Muni,
Arjuna.
Arjuna,
Kamadhenu.
Amadeva,
Vedavyasa.
Vedavyasa,
Garuda.
Garuda,
Who is this?
Vamana.
Prahlad,
Prahlada.
Which animal is this?
Matsya,
Gaje.
Shark,
Gajendra,
Matsya Avtara,
Peacock. Who is this?
Subramanya,
With a rope.
Yama,
I think this is Varuna. This is Varuna, but I may be wrong.
oh, okay.
Who is this?
Balram, Adishesha,
Okay. Adishesha. Who is
Narasimha,
Narasimha,
lion? Who is
Kubera, yeah. That's
who is this?
Gandhara,
Everyone now. Thank you so much. So now we're gonna. This is what says. I am all these. Thank you everyone for the participation. I don't know if we were all right. So Krishna says, this is what I am. So this is from verse 21 to 38, but we made it in a tabular form for easy understanding. Of all the Adityas, I represent Vishnu, O Arjuna. Of all the sources of light, I represent sun. Of all the Maruts, I represent Marichi. Of all the stars, I am the moon. So moon is a star. Of all the Vedas, I am the Samaved. Of all the demigods, I am Indra, the head of the demigods. Of all the senses, I represent the mind. The deity of the mind is Aniruddha. Aniruddha is the deity of the mind. In all the living beings, I am the life force. So what is the difference between a living body and a dead body? There's a life force in the living being, and that represents Krishna. Of all the Rudras, I represent Lord Shiva. Of all the Yakshas and Rakshasas, I represent Kuvera. Of all the priests, I represent Brahaspati. Of all the military generals, I represent Skanda. Of all the bodies of water, I represent ocean. Of all the sages, I represent Bhrigu. Of all the vibrations, I am the Om. Of chanting of the holy name, Japa. All the sacrifices, I am the chanting of the holy name. This is 10.25. Of all the immovable things, I represent Himalayas. Of all the trees, holy fig or banyan tree, Ashwatha. Of all the sages of demigods, Narada is a representative of Krishna. Singer of the demigods, Chitraratha. Perfected beings, Siddhas, Kapila Muni. Of all the horses, Ucheshrava. Of all lordly elephants, Airavat, the ride of Indra. Of all the monarch, in all the men, I am the monarch. Of all the weapons, I am Vajra, the thunderbolt. Of all the cows, I represent Surabhi. Of all the procreators, I represent Cupid or Kandarpa. Of all the serpents, I represent Vasuki. So that snake in the painting was Vasuki. Of all the snakes, I am Ananta. Of all the aquatic deities, I am Varuna. Of all the departed ancestors, Aryama. Of all the dispensers of law, Yama. Of the Daitya demons, I represent Prahlad. Of all the subduers, everything that can subdue one's existence or finish one's existence or eat one's existence, Krishna says, I am the time. So time is the big killer. Beast, of all the beasts, I represent lion. Of all the birds, I represent Garuda. Of all that purifies or the purifiers, Krishna represents wind. Wielders of weapon, Krishna is Rama. Of all the fishes, I'm shark. Of all the flowing rivers, Ganges. Of all the creations, Krishna says, I'm the beginning, end, and also middle. Of all the sciences, I am the spiritual science of the self. Of all the logicians, I represent the conclusive truth. Of the letters, A is Krishna. Of all the compound words, Krishna is the dual compound, Dvanda Samsha. Of all the creators, Krishna says, I am Brahma. Continues, and I am the all-devouring death and generator of all things yet to be. In woman, Krishna represents 7 things in a woman. 7 things is especially in a woman: fame, fortune, fine speech, memory, intelligence, faithfulness, and patience. A woman is decorated with all these qualities because Krishna has given it. Of all the hymns, Brihat Sama. Of the poetry, Gayatri. Of all the months, Margashira, November to December. Of all the seasons, spring season. Of all the cheats, gambling. Of all that splendor, he's the splendor of he represents victory, adventure. He's the strength of the strong. He represents Vasudev, the descendant of Vrishni. Of all the Pandavas, he's Arjuna. Of all the sages, he's Vyasa. Of all the thinkers, he's Usana. Of all the punishments, rod of chastisement. Of the victory seekers, morality. Of the secrets, silence. Silence is a secret that represents Krishna. And all wise wisdom. So we can go on. So there are 82 vibhutis. Krishna says, see, Krishna is saying, I am everywhere. Krishna is saying, I am in animal kingdom. I am in bird kingdom. I am in snake kingdom, reptile kingdom. I am in human kingdom, demigod kingdom. Everywhere, Krishna is saying, nobody else claims all this. Nobody. There are how many Devi Devtas? Some million, billion are there. 36 million, if I'm not mistaken, or 33 million maybe. But nobody says like this, that I'm this, I'm that. No, no, no. Krishna says, why? Because Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. Furthermore, O Arjuna, I am the generating seed of all existences. There is no being, moving or unmoving, that can exist without me. This is powerful. Bhagavad Gita words are live wire, the live current filled wire. Okay. Why, O mighty conqueror of enemies, there is no end to my divine manifestations. What I have spoken to you is but a mere indication of my infinite opulences. So Krishna is limitless, beginningless, endless. But for our knowledge, he says some things where we can meditate. Know that yad yad vibhuti mat sattvam shrimad urjitam eva va tat tad eva gachatvam mamatejo amsha sambhavam. Know that all beautiful, glorious, and mighty creations spring from but a spark of my splendor. So Krishna is not working hard, taking loan from the bank and hiring architect or civil engineer or doing this. No, no, no. What spark of a splendor? He just wills. He just says, let there be creation, and it happens. No one does like that. Athava bahu naitena kim gyatena tavarjuna vishtabhyam idam kristam ekam shena sito jagat. But what need is there, Arjuna, for all this detailed knowledge? With a single fragment of myself, I pervade and support this entire universe. Single fragment. He's divided yet undivided. That's Achintya Bheda Bheda Tattva. He's present inside everyone's heart as Shri Vishnu. He is the origin of the soul also. So Krishna cannot be copied. So this is what we learned today. Vibhuti's opulences in nutshell. I will request today's Ekadashi. Very nice day. Very nice chapter. Please go back and read this chapter again. and maybe you will get more understanding. So Krishna is unknowable and Krishna is the source of all. He says this in verse 1 to 7. Name vidu sura gunaha. He says there that of me no one knows. Because I'm the source of demigods, sages, Manu, everyone is coming, 7 great rishis. Because I'm the source, so I am actually unknowable. That is why it is important that Krishna himself talks about himself. No one else can know Krishna completely. And then we studied Chaturshloki Bhagavad Gita, pure bhakti essence of Bhagavad Gita from verse 8 to 11, where I told you Sambandha, Abhidaya, Prayojan, 3 things are established. Sambandha means what is the relationship between a soul and super soul. Krishna is the creator, I am created. Abhidaya means if I am a pure, if someone becomes a pure devotee, Krishna thinks about that soul, and the pure devotee cannot forget Krishna anytime. Right now, for most of us, it's a work to think about Krishna. It's a work. Just pay attention to our own lives. Pay attention. How many times a day are we remembering Krishna? And how many times a day are we not remembering Krishna? So we have to fill the gap. We have a bridge to cross. There are some time which I'm not thinking about Krishna. Fill the gap. How? Work for Krishna. Just work or dedicate all your activities to Krishna. Become glorious. A devotee of Krishna is famous in all the planetary systems. He's very famous. Only people in this world are famous, right, for so many things, but they are famous only here. They do not carry the fame to upper planetary systems or Vrindavan, Loka or Goloka Vrindavan. But devotee of Krishna is famous everywhere. Everybody looks at that person. Oh, this person is chanting Hare Krishna. So Abhidaya and Prayojan is what is the goal of that relationship that Krishna wants us. He says, I will give you understanding by which you can come to me. Don't worry, I'm sitting in your heart and I will destroy the ignorance by the light of knowledge. Then Arjuna accepts Krishna's supreme position and he offers prayers. Whenever a devotee gets realization, immediately a feeling of gratitude must come in our heart and we must say, thank you, Krishna. And also say, yes, Krishna, yes to Krishna. Sarvam edam ritam manye. And then Lord Krishna describes his vibhutis from 19 to 42nd verse. Divya hi atma vibhutayaha. Okay, so this is the summary and I'm going to show you one lecture of Prabhupada. This is in Melbourne. It's about 3 minutes. We don't have to watch the whole 7 minutes. Let's relish this.
Krishna gave him the independence. Now, whatever you like, you can do. Krishna never forced him to accept the teachings of Bhagavad Gita. He gave him the independence. Now, whatever you like, you can do. And he agreed. Yes, now my illusion is over. I shall act, as you say. The same independence. Yeah?
This is in the 18th chapter. Thus I have explained to you the most lengthy Sanskrit.
Yeah.
Iti te jnanam akyatam guya guyataram maya.
If you have a question, please raise your hand. No questions? So please read the chapter again today. And relish. Shivam Prabhu. Hare Krishna, yes, Prabhuji. You can unmute yourself. Anything in the chat, Mataji?
Yes, yes, Mataji.
Yes.
There is one question.
Yeah, let's just Shivam Prabhu. Yes,
Yeah,
Prabhuji.
I had one question. So, like in that verse where Krishna describes himself, he across many categories, he says, "I am this and this." Like across many categories, I am something and something. He specifies only one entity in each category. But Krishna has said before that Krishna says Krishna is in everything. So why does Krishna here say he is only Vishnu and Aditya is only sun and light? Isn't Krishna in everything?
Yeah, he is. But then if I have to meditate on Krishna, he is giving something tangible to my existence. And then he says, that, that what is the need, what need is there, Arjuna, for all this detailed knowledge? With a single fragment of myself, I pervade and support this entire universe. And the verse immediately before, he says, yes, I will tell you of my splendorous manifestations, but oh Arjuna, for my opulence is limitless. So he's only talking about the most prominent ones here, but he's also saying it's
Okay.
impossible. Okay,
Yeah, thank you.
attention. Thank you so much.
Mataji, there is a question. I'll read out. This is from Priya. Hare Krishna. This
Hare-
has raised some fundamental questions. Just to reiterate, I am a believer, but Krishna himself says that Krishna cannot be known. Isn't discouraging people to understand the Supreme?
Yeah, so Mataji, you can unmute yourself. Priya Mataji.
Hare
Yes.
Krishna. Priya here.
Yeah. So you're saying that Krishna says I cannot be known. So you're thinking that it could be little discouraging.
Right.
Yes, you know, when I read Bhagavad Gita for the first time, Krishna says in 7th chapter, I think, that everything is in me, but I am not in them. When he's describing about the pearls in a thread string, so I also felt, and of me no one knows. He says, I know everybody, but of me no one knows. So I also felt like first time when I read, but reading again and listening to Srila Prabhupada, actually he said that it can be taken as a discouraging emotion or sentiment in the beginning, but actually one may also feel very proud of becoming Krishna conscious, in the sense that I am a devotee of such a great personality. So when you will go on reading Bhagavad Gita again and listen to Prabhupada, devotees, discourses, discussions, then you will come to an understanding that this is actually opulence of Krishna. And this chapter is about how can I fall in love with Krishna. So when Krishna says, I am magnanimous, I am so great, so that can be taken as a thing that to fall for in Krishna. Okay. But yes,
Okay.
you're feeling validated.
Thank you.
Seema
Okay.
Mataji, go ahead. Devaki Mataji. Devika
Yeah.
Mataji.
Devika, yeah. Please explain the comparison of live air to Bhagavad Gita, Mataji, you made.
Explain the comparison of what, Mataji?
Live wire.
Oh, live wire. Oh, okay. So you see, when someone is reading some mundane novel, some fiction, non-fiction, whatever they're reading in mundane, it says this has nothing to do with the living or non-living being. It is fictitious, right? It says that. But this Bhagavad Gita is live. These words are live. We live that philosophy. It's not that, okay, somebody made a Bollywood movie or wrote some novel and then they gave a declaration in the beginning. It has no bearing to anyone who's living or non-living. No. It has, Bhagavad Gita is live. It is complete bearing to our existence eternally, not only in this life, but life after life. And even when we go back. That's what I meant. Okay. Who was asking that question, Mataji?
Vedantaram Ramesh.
Okay, yes, Prabhuji, you can unmute yourself. Vedartham Ramesh.
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yes, Prabhu, you got your answer?
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Mata. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
One more question from Venkateshwara Prabhuji. How can Krishna is in gambling?
There are two Venkateshwaras, Venkateshwara or Venkateshwara Rao. Which one I should ask? Please raise your hand, whoever asked this question. I will request you to unmute. Why not? Krishna, nothing is independent of Krishna. We are looking at something as good or bad according to our material vision. We see something as good and something as bad. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, Prabhupada, explains in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Dvete, Dvete means duality. Bhadra, abhadra, sakuli sama. Ei manda, ei changa, keval mano brahma. Means Dvete means a duality. Good, bad, cold, hot. All these dualities are existing in one's existence. But they are actually same thing. Sakuli sama. Why? Because everything that's good or bad is actually nothing but the manipulation of the mind. It's coming from Mano Brahma. It's the illusion of the mind. So gambling is a well, you will study in 15th chapter, Prabhu. This world is you can unmute yourself. This world is a reflection of a spiritual world upside down. Urdhva Mula Madhav Shakham. So I'm going to ask this lady to. What is the verse? Urdhva Mula Madhav Shakham.
ऊर्ध्वमूलमधोशाखम् अश्वत्थं प्रभुव्ययं चन्दं श्रियसपर्णानि यस्तं वेद स वेदवेत्.
So this is 15th chapter, first verse. Urdhva Mula Madho Shakham Ashwattham Prahuravyayam. Means that this world is compared to a banyan tree which is upside down. So whatever is highest over there becomes lowest here. You will study in 15th chapter. The highest love affair, the highest kind of devotion to Krishna is the conjugal love, right? The gopis or Radharani and Krishna. But that relationship is inverted here. It becomes the lowest. So like that, gap also has its existence in the spiritual world. But it is perverted here, so we think it is bad. Anyway, people who are gambling also need intelligence, right? So the intelligence is given by Krishna. Matta smriti jnanam apohanam cha. That way we can understand this from many angles actually. But did you understand what I'm trying to say, Venkateshwar Prabhu?
Why we will discourage our children if they are trying to go towards gambling, and government also bans gambling, no? If it is the other part of good thing, such thing will not be discouraged, no?
Because we are looking at this material world, we are not looking the perspective from a spiritual vision. Gambling takes away truthfulness. Okay, Prabhupada has given 4 regulative principles to be followed. And if someone is not following those 4 regulative principles, then they don't get initiation in ISKCON. The 4 regulative principles are no intoxication, including tea and coffee, because intoxication is the need of the mind. The soul doesn't need it. No meat eating. Meat eating takes mercy from the heart. No illicit relationships. Illicit relationships takes away cleanliness from the heart of a human being. And no gambling, because gambling takes away truthfulness from the heart. We are talking about material world, Prabhu. We are sitting in this world where we are entitled to birth, death, old age, disease. So over here, gambling is forbidden. But when you go back to Krishna, you can gamble with him. That will be okay. Okay, but here in human form of life, in conditioned material existence, no.
If Godfather represents himself as a gambling, then people like us being parents also should tell positively about gambling or negative about gambling.
Actually, this is not an argument at all, because see that you're talking like, if I may please say strongly, some people say Lord Shiva is a Vaishnava, Lord Shiva is a devotee of Krishna, Lord Shiva is a topmost Vaishnava, Lord Shiva is smoking weed or smoking ganja. Let me also smoke because he is the Vishnu devotee and he is doing it. So I am also a Vishnu devotee. Let me do it. No. We can't copy. We cannot. This is not even an argument, because Lord Shiva drank poison also and he kept it in the throat. Do that also.
Then Ravana is better than that, na? Ravana is also a good person. Because of his sister's problem, he has done all those things, no?
Our good or bad is only...
has got some problem from Lakshmana. That's why he went and did that thing. Then Ravana is also a good person. Why to kill him?
Prabhu, your argument is not based on Krishna consciousness. We are not trying to be good divisions, divide people in a category that you are good, you are bad. I am trying to tell you what Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Prabhupada says in Chaitanya Charitamrita. He says, Dvete Bhadra Bhadra Sakuli Sama. Ei Manda, Ei Changa, Keval Mano Brahma. So as long as we are accept that this is good, this is bad. We are living in the mental world. We are living in the mental world. The minute a human being starts thinking this is good, this is bad, then immediately we must come to our own realization that I am not a pure devotee. What you're saying is Ravana is good. Well, this is good. Ravana is actually is one of the Jai Vijayas. He's been cursed to come to the material world in the form of a demon, and then he goes back to Vaikuntha. That is a real story.
But he's the king of demons only, no?
What, Prabhu?
He's the king of demons only, no?
This is Seema here. May I say something over here?
Yes, Mataji. Just 1 second, Mataji. Prabhu, our litmus test is only one. What is that? Srila Prabhupada says, if this activity is making me more Krishna conscious, if it is in alignment with the instructions of Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra, I cannot concoct that I am becoming Krishna conscious. If whatever you're saying, if your logic or argument is being checked by Guru, Sadhu, Shastra, I will accept it. If it is not, then it is a mental concoction and please give it up. If you want,
is it somewhere mentioned in Bhagavad Gita that this gambling also my representation?
I just said, right, in the gamblers, he represents the cheat. Yes.
Is it part of Bhagavad Gita?
Yes, in one of the vibhutis of Krishna. Yes. Seema Mataji, what did you want to say?
Yes, so like I had read it that Ram also, after killing Ravana, he felt sad, like, why did he kill? Because Ravan also had so many good qualities. So it is up to us that, what we see. So let us look at the good qualities and take those and learn from those. So that is what I have to say. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. Okay, thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Yes, Mataji, any other question? Somebody.
You want to give some chance to the raised hands, Mataji?
Yes, Mataji. Ramesh Prabhu, please go ahead.
I think he's already got a chance, no? We can give to somebody else.
No.
Ramesh Prabhu already got one chance, no, Mataji?
Okay.
I'm just Ramesh. So,
Shweta Moore Mataji. Ramesh Prabhu, you asked your question. So Shweta Moore Mataji, please go ahead.
Yeah, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
I wanted to ask that, in the verse, it was mentioned that, when we think about getting all this higher education and all other things which you mentioned, it is, and when you showed now the video, in that, Prabhupada ji is saying that there is a difference between a dog and a human, and the human mind needs to be inquisitive and questionable. So when we are also taking all these things about higher education and trying to learn many different things, I didn't understand that part of it. So just can you explain and give me a clarity on that? I hope I was able to.
So your question is that I didn't understand the question actually.
Yeah, actually, you explained, right, in one today's shlokas, one of the part where you said that the education and getting all this, spending so much money and on getting higher education, going outside and studying and all these things, it is something of that sort. So in comparison to the human inquisitive mind, so isn't that also a part of having it?
Mataji, are you asking, is your confusion, I'm still not clear. If I may just tell you what I'm understanding and you can tell me if I understood it right or wrong. Are you saying that mundane education, are you saying that isn't that also a part of Krishna consciousness? Why are we rejecting the mundane, the material education? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Yes.
And are you saying that why are we giving priority only to Krishna consciousness and not to medical knowledge, to engineering knowledge, to architecture knowledge, all that stuff?
Yeah.
Yes, Mataji. So Mataji, Very nice question, by the way. It clears many doubts. So Prabhupada never said that don't get qualification, don't get qualified, don't educate yourself. But only that, without Krishna consciousness, is that what he said, that don't do it. His disciple Bhakti Damodar Goswami Prabhupada, Bhakti, I'm forgetting his first name, but Damodar Goswami Prabhupada, he was PhD from Stanford University, California. Prabhupada asked him, go and open Bhaktivedanta Institute in Kolkata and do research about Krishna consciousness and preach to the world. So Bhakti Damodar Goswami Prabhupada, he did that on the order of Prabhupada. So no, nothing is prohibited, but add Krishna there. Don't do it. Okay, now I am puffed up. I am such a big doctor, such a big engineer, or such a big architect. And now I have no time for Krishna. That is a defeat. That's a defeat of one's purpose of life. Yes, that is a skill. We need to have a skill to live, but we can use that skill to actually become more Krishna conscious. I know so many top doctors who are actually in Krishna consciousness and who are actually giving their patients not only the bodily treatment but also the spiritual knowledge. There is one doctor in Detroit, he's a vascular surgeon. His name is Achyuta Gauranga Das. Mataji, are you still here?
Yes, I am.
So that he's a vascular surgeon. So imagine, like, he's a pretty well-educated devotee. So Achyuta Gauranga Das Prabhu, he works in Henry Ford Hospital in Detroit. Okay. So he, in his clinic, in the waiting room, he has kept Prabhupada books. So whichever patient comes, you know, when you go to doctor's office, in the waiting room, there's TV on or there's some magazine kept. Achyuta Gauranga Prabhu has kept Prabhupada books. So reading his patients, one of the patients, he brought also that, and for one of our meetings, and the patient gave testimony that my doctor not only treated my body but also gave me a ultimate knowledge. He's not leaving his practice. I am not leaving my practice. I am doing it, but we're trying to be Krishna conscious at the same time. Okay, this conception is going on in the society. That is why people are fearful of Krishna consciousness. They think that we have to leave so much. We have to get rid of so many things in our life. No. Just add. Our life achievements is like a zero, big zero. Okay, I am so beautiful, big zero, 1 0. I am so educated, another 0. I am so rich, another 0. I have so nice children, another 0. I live in such a big house, another 0. Prabhupada said Krishna is like 1. Put 1 in front of all these zeros and look at the prominence of these zeros when there is this 1 in front of them. So we live our life by those principles, okay?
Okay, got it. Yeah, that's what I wanted to understand. Thank you so much.
Mataji, next question from Prabhat.
Yeah, Mataji, just before I want to ask question, I just want to add one point what other Mataji was asking you, right? So if you say like medical and everything, whatever we learn, these are just the skills what we are developing, but the knowledge is ultimately knowing the Krishna consciousness, right? And one more point, Mataji, about that Ravana, someone asked, right? So before asking this question, I just wanted to add one more point. Ravana was a pure soul when he was a devotee of Shiva, but once he got the ego, he started doing nuisance, and then he abducted, kidnapped a woman without knowledge of the husband. So that was completely wrong, because of which he got the whatever the deed he got. Now my questions is, Mataji, can you just put some lights on the science and spirituality, like how it is related to Krishna? Like if you want to know more on those things, how can we go ahead with that? If you can,
yes, so if I may ask, because you look like a, if I may ask. So science and spirituality are interconnected. There cannot be any science without spirituality. It just becomes a very heavy subject to absorb. In 13th chapter, Prabhu, 13th chapter, Krishna is going to say, what is the body made of? And in that, we will discuss 24 elements that is happening in the material world. Material world is made of 24 elements, and our mundane knowledge is just circulating around those 24 elements. But I'm going to actually request you to read one something. So I'm just trying to pull up something on the background. Have you read the book Science of Self-Realization, Prabhu?
No, Mataji.
No? Okay, so I will recommend this book to you, Science of Self-Realization. And then I'm going to pull up this doctor in Canada, Toronto General Cardiothoracic Heart Surgeon, Dr. Bigelow. He's very famous in medical field. Okay, so I'm going to request you. Prabhupada is not a doctor. Prabhupada didn't go to medical college. So this is soul research. Okay, the topic is soul research. There is this doctor called Dr. Wilfred Bigelow. He, when the heart transplant is done, when they take the heart out from a donor, from a dying person's body, they store the heart in a sub-zero temperature, cryopreservation of the heart. Dr. Bigelow is the person who invented this. What temperature is good for storing the heart? Okay, so he's asking this question. Gazette headline, local headline, he puts it, heart surgeon wants to know what a soul is. He puts it out in Windsor, Canada. So he's asking, he says here, there are certain cases where you happen to be present at the moment when people pass from a living state to death and some mysterious changes take place. One of the most noticeable is the sudden lack of life or luster to the eyes. They become opaque and literally lifeless. It's difficult to document what you observe. In fact, I don't think it can be documented very well. Okay, now Prabhupada is going to answer. Prabhupada gives evidence from Vedic knowledge. Srila Prabhupada gives Vedic evidence, and Prabhupada also answers in Gazette headline so whole world can read. Heart surgeon wants to know what a soul is. Okay, I'm going to request you to read this, Prabhu, for us very loud. Please read this.
Undoubtedly, the soul is present in the heart of the living entity, and it is the source of all the energies for maintaining the body. The energy of the soul is spread all over the body, and this is known as consciousness. Since this consciousness spreads the energy of the soul all over the body, one can feel pains and pleasure in any part of the body.
Yes, and then let's read this one too. One more paragraph. The soul is individual.
The soul is individual and he is transmigrating from one body to another, just as a person transmigrates from babyhood to childhood and from childhood to boyhood and from boyhood to youth and then to advanced old age. Then the change called death takes place. When we change to a new body, just as we change our body, our dress to a new dress. This is called transmigration of the soul.
Srila Prabhupada is telling this big doctor in the medical history, the Vedic evidence of the soul. So this is one such example. And so many examples are there. You pick up. Let's say somebody is doing some chemical experiments in the lab. Okay. So they think themselves very knowledgeable. First of all, who has given that knowledge? Who gave the knowledge?
It came from Krishna.
Krishna. Matta smritir jnanam apohanam cha. Who gave the ingredients to do the chemical experiment?
I would say again Krishna, because he has only given that part. He cannot give it to everyone. Those people are graced by Krishna only, that in this life they got those chance, and he has done that. So
Krishna, the answer is Krishna, right? Ultimate answer is that he has given it and they have accepted it somehow. So unless and until we talk about the spirit behind anything, there is actually no existence. Can a dead body do experiments?
Never.
Why not?
Because there is no life, and first thing is even people who are not realizing Krishna are also dead. I will say they are dead in terms of ego or some mundane task. But if we realize Krishna and then do, I think he can do miracle. What is that?
Yes. So I think you got a little bit of your answer. Yeah. But stay with us. 13, 14, 15 chapters are full of this science and spirituality. How are the planets rotating? How is the food getting digested? How is the memory being made? All these things will be discussed. Okay.
Mataji, can you share the link in the chat? The link what you
what link you wanted, Prabhuji?
What you were just showing me, right? That one.
Acha, I will put it in the chat. But this is I will actually, Prabhu. Why don't you read the whole book? I'm going to share my screen. So there is this website called vedabase.io. Can you see my screen?
Yes, Mataji.
Vedabase.io, and this is the book Science of Self-Realization.
Okay, Mataji. Thank you.
Self-realization chapter 1, learning the science of soul. This is where I was reading from.
Okay, Mataji. Thank
Okay.
you.
Hare Krishna.
Mataji, will take the next question.
Yes, Mataji. Yes.
Yeah, this is from Mandara Prabhuji. Why Krishna says, I am Samveda in all Veda?
Samaveda is the Veda where all the songs are there, right? He says in one of the later chapters that Gayatri, everything is revealed in Samaveda. I don't know. He says yesterday we read, I am the origin of Rig, Yajur, and Atharva Ved also. And today he said Sama. So I guess he's saying everywhere he is. But he's talking about the most prominent opulences today. I don't know. I'll ask Prabhu. I'll ask Namanishta Prabhu. Okay. I can't pinpoint.
Okay, the next question from Dr. K.S. Rajakumari. Hare Krishna, lion, shares, and Vasili have soul like humans. Sharks and Vasuki. Okay. Shark, lions, Vasuki have soul like humans. That's the question.
The soul. Okay, the soul has no identity of a human being or a animal or a child. It's the same soul. So soul has its own individuality. Is independent of the identity of the body. Yes, the answer to your question is yes. The soul, same quality of a soul which is present in the human body is also present in the animal body. Yes.
Okay. The next question from Grishu. Is it mentioned anywhere in Bhagavad Gita that everyone are equal?
Okay, so who can answer this question? My co-host can say. Krishna says, what is the verse? Brahmabhuta prasannatma na sochati na kankshati sama sarveshu bhuteshu mad bhakte labhate param. So Brahmabhuta prasannatma, we are equal in quality, in not that we are equal in quantity or we are equal in personality. No, we are equal in the sense that we are all part and parcel of Krishna. And as Krishna is Sat Chit Ananda, Sat means eternal, means no past, no present, no future. Chit means full of knowledge, and Ananda means full of. So constitutionally, fundamentally, Krishna has that quality. So I, being part and parcel of Krishna, also has that quality. But quantity-wise, we are very different. So your question is that we are all equal. Yes, we are all equal constitutionally, that we are all part and parcel of Krishna. Let's say, Prabhupada gives this example, a drop of ocean. You take a drop of ocean out of the ocean. Okay? And then you take many drops out of the ocean, many. Now all those drops, if I study one drop, can I tell the constituents of the entire sea just by studying one drop? Which Mataji asked this question? We should ask them to unmute.
Grishu?
Gireshu. Yes, please unmute yourself, Gireshu. Krishna, I muted you. Please.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. So, Mataji, is your question clear? We are fundamentally, constitutionally equal, but we have our own personality. Mane, all human beings have a fundamental same body structure. 2 eyes, 1 brain, 1 nose, 1 mouth, these many teeth, these many 2 ears. Fundamentally, the blueprint is the same, right? But the arrangement of everything is different. So we have different personalities. Like that, constitutionally, we are all part and parcel of Krishna. In that way, we are equal. Okay,
but
Mataji?
actually, as far as I see, Mataji, there are lots of discrimination by gender. That is, oh, I'm a male, I can do this thing. Oh, you're a female, you have to just stay in the house. And also, did Krishna anywhere mention that no, only male has got the power to do everything, and the female's work is just to look after the house, bring up kids, and just
Mataji,
do nothing at home?
That vision is going to stay unless and until one looks at the soul. That vision is the vision of these eyes made of muscle and nerves. But we are talking about Divya Gyan, Hriday Prakashito. That's why we need a guru who can tell us that who am I? Actually, who am I? Few years ago, I was a little girl like this one. Then I was a young girl, and now I'm growing old. But who am I? So we don't even know who am I, and we talk about understanding Krishna. Not possible. Okay, Mataji. So that vision is a vision of a person who is not Krishna conscious. That is why it's a matter of consciousness.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Then, Mataji, next question from VB Sheshagiri. As Krishna is omnipresent power in the universe, does life exist in other planets too? Any evidence in the Gita?
Yes, so many times he has that there is life everywhere. Everywhere there is life. When Arjuna said that it is no enjoyment, he gave the reason. Remember, Prabhu, did you attend first chapter class?
Yeah,
Shesha-
yeah. Yes,
So-
yes, Mataji.
Reasons I'm not gonna fight. One of the reasons was no enjoyment. That everyone will be dead and gone. Who will I enjoy with? What did Krishna say? You will die, you will be promoted to heavenly planets and you will enjoy there. He said that, right? So how can you how can we enjoy in the middle of a forest? There is life there. Everywhere there is life. And Krishna himself is saying, of all the demigods, I am Indra. Of purifier, I am the wind. He's himself saying, right? All these things. Of all the Marutas, Richi.
That's right.
So yes, we get evidence. Yes, there's life
Thank you.
everywhere. Hare Krishna. Let me ask people who have raised their hands, Mataji, 1 second. Just Priya Mataji
Sure.
and Monika Acharya Mataji. Mataji, please go.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Your explanations are very nice. I just have a question in the video that you showed. I understand the varnas are actually based on what the individual does. It's not basically by the birth. If a person could be born wherever, but if he is doing, learning and preaching, he becomes a brahmana. If he does business, he becomes a vaishya and things like that. So in the video that was shown, why was what is wrong in that individual to be a cart rider? There's nothing wrong in doing it as long as he enjoys doing it, and that's probably his way of serving God also.
So we are assessing more than what we are seeing. Mataji, the question is wonderful, but actually that is why we need to know how to listen. Very nice question. So
Thank you.
you are trying to think what Prabhupada is saying. Prabhupada is not saying all those things. Prabhupada is saying that this particular boy was born in a rich family to a rich father and had a chance to live a better life. But what did he do? He went and he's riding the horse and he's working as a horse carriage. So people can, the scooter driver, if a father is a billionaire, what is the need for this person to pull a thela? What need is there? So Srila Prabhupada is saying in that context that we have come to the human form of life. And after coming to the human form of life, Mataji, please unmute yourself. After human form of life, if I'm not inquiring who am I, then I'm losing the profit. Then I'm like losing the chance of this golden opportunity that I can ask, dog cannot ask. That's what he's saying. He's not saying what is wrong, what is right. He's trying to make an analogy that he had a chance to live a better life, but he chose to go and work hard and pull a thela. Why? What was the need to do that? Okay.
Okay.
Okay. You are assessing more than what Prabhupada is saying. Prabhupada is not talking about ashrama there at all. Prabhupada is talking about human form, control the mind, don't become like dog, and you have a chance. Athata Brahma Jigyasa. Now inquire, who are you? Okay,
No,
Mataji?
that's fine. I was just I was not too happy with the use of word low caste.
No. Prabhupada is direct. Prabhupada is saying this particular person has a chance to live and enjoy the heritage from the father. But he is going and becoming a hippie. What is the need? That's what he's saying. Now you are putting emotions and you are analyzing in child different.
Okay.
Understand it as it is. It's a skill.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. Monica Acharya. Yes,
Yes.
Mataji.
Yeah, yeah,
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
It's wonderful to hear from you. And I feel blessed and I'm overjoyed hearing from you. It gives something, I'm speechless, unable to speak.
Thank you, Mataji, for your appreciation and affection so much. Thank you.
I want to know this Sambandh, Abhudaya and Prayojan. This, kindly explain it again.
Sambandha, word meaning of the word Sambandha is relationship, right? Sambandha. What is my Sambandha with this girl? She's my daughter. So we have a relationship. I'm the mother, she's the daughter. That's Sambandha. Okay, Sambandha ho gaya, uske baad kya karna hai? What do you have to do after that? So what is the activity? I becomes a good girl. So that's a Prayojan. I'm sorry, Abhidaya. That's Abhidaya. So once we have a relationship that this is my daughter, I am the mother. So what is the activity in that relationship? I take care of her and she accepts my care. What is the prayojan? What is the ultimate goal? So that she grows into a nice devotee of Krishna. Like that, with Krishna, we have a sambandha that Krishna is the creator and we are created. So we are subordinate and he is superior. Okay, ho gaya. Then what is the activity? The activity is that I should talk about Krishna, Tushyanti cha, Yanti cha. I should Krishna consciousness, discussions about Krishna, and make my life perfect by doing this. And Krishna will also notice that, oh, this person is a pure devotee, so Krishna will also think about me. That's Abhidaya. What is the Prayojan? Both are thinking about each other. Krishna is thinking about a pure devotee is thinking about Krishna. What is going to happen ultimately? They will live Prayojan. Okay?
Fine. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Ulhas Prabhu, and then I'll take the chat questions. Ulhas Prabhu.
Yeah. Just now in Gurupad's speech, he said, don't be like a god. Don't be like a dog, sorry.
Yes.
Don't be like a dog. Just eat, sleep, and sleep. So whether Krishna is not in the dog?
Prabhu, we are not Uttamadhikari. Your question is very nice, but we are not Brahmabhuta Prasannatma na sochati na kankshati. Brahmabhuta Prasannatma means a person who is completely self-realized, na sochati na kankshati, does not desire anything, does not hanker anything. So what does he do? What does that Atma do, which is self-realized? If it is not desiring anything, if it is not hankering for anything, sama sarveshu bhuteshu mad bhakti labate param. That particular devotee sees everyone equal as a part and parcel of Krishna. That particular sama sarveshu bhuteshu, all the living entities are equal to that particular vision. But we are not Uttamadhikari. Krishna consciousness is not, Prabhupada coined the word I told yesterday in the class, show bottle spiritualism. Show bottle spiritualism, you will not find anywhere in English literature. Prabhupada coined this word. So he doesn't want us to become show bottle spiritualist. Oh, the dog is also part and parcel of Krishna. Let the dog bite me. Anyway, I'm not the body, I'm the soul. Let me get bitten. No. Be attached to where we are. Very, very fixed that I am not there yet. Can you please help me to get there? So we don't fanaticize, okay? As long as I am seeing dog as separate from Krishna, as separate living entity, I am not at that level. So your question is constitutional right. Am I able to?
Yeah. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Okay, Hare Krishna. Yes, Mataji, any other question in the chat? Devika Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Sorry, Mataji, I was in mute. Yeah, there is a question from, two questions from Ramesh V. Prabhuji. The first question is, if Krishna is the syllables Om, can we just chant Om?
Okay, what is that the question?
Did Krishna spoke about goddesses like it could be Radhe, Saraswati Devi, Lakshmi, Durga Devi?
These are all external energies of Krishna. So can we just chant Om? You can chant Om. That's fine. You can chant Om. But what is the level of what is going to happen? Prabhu Chaitanya Chaitamrita explains the meaning of the word Om. Om is made of A, U, and I'm trying to locate the verse. So A means Krishna, U means Radharani, M means living entities. That is the real meaning of the word Om. But by chanting Om, we only get impersonal conception of God. We do not get personal conception. Om is a vibration. But when we chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, we get the full potency, the full the Sat Chit and Ananda. We get the full personal realization of Krishna. The Mayavadi philosophers are chanting Om, right? Om iti eksharam Brahma. In 8th chapter, middle of the chapter, Krishna says that people who are very attached to doing meditation, they chant the mantra Om. Or Krishna himself says, Pranava Sarva Vedeshu, I am the Om syllable in all the Vedic mantras. But by chanting Om, we don't get the personal realization of Krishna. And Om is present in Hare Krishna Mahamantra. It is present. It's just a matter of realization. It is there. Okay. The other question was what? The Mataji? Please.
Okay. Did Krishna spoke about goddesses like Radhe, Saraswati Devi, Lakshmi, Durga Devi?
In Bhagavad Gita or in general?
Ramesh Prabhuji should clarify that.
Is it Ramesh V?
Yes.
Okay, so Krishna. Yes, Prabhu, you can unmute yourself. Ramesh V. What is what?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
So in context of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna spoke only about about Supreme Personality. So I wanted to understand, like, we celebrate Navaratri, we celebrate Varmahalakshmi Vrata and Gauri Vrata and all those things. So in that context, did Krishna spoke about like goddess Lakshmi, the different avatars of Devi, Durga Devi, and things like that?
So those are all Devi Devtas, right? So Prabhu, Krishna speaks in Bhagavad Gita. If you are specifically asking about Bhagavad Gita or the Vedic literature, in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna talks that there are two types of energies, Para Prakriti and Apara Prakriti, right? Higher nature and inferior nature. So superior nature is where the mother Radharani comes, and everybody else that you're naming are nothing but expansions of Radharani, and everybody is doing nothing but trying to serve Krishna this way or that way. Mother Lakshmi is very busy. What is she very busy in? By massaging the lotus feet of Vishnu, right?
Right. Yeah.
So who is telling her to do that? Radharani. So these are all expansions of Radharani. Krishna says in their original context. He's not saying go to Lakshmi and ask for money. No. She says Lakshmi is my wife and she's massaging my lotus feet. That's what he says. So in that way we can understand, yes, he is talking. I don't know if I answered your question. Did I answer your question?
Yes, Mataji. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, next question, Mataji. Can we take? Mataji, your voice is low or breaking sometime.
Oh, is it fine now?
Yes.
Okay.
I'll read out the next question. This is from Vandana Ji Mataji. Can you please explain more on who we are?
Yes, one of the co-hosts can answer this question. Shivani Mataji, you want to answer? I know. You know? Vandana Mataji, please unmute yourself. So my daughter wants to answer you this question, Mataji. She's 9 years old. Yes, Mataji. So, who are we?
We're not the body, but we're the soul.
You got the answer. We're not the body, we are the soul. So Mataji, there are many illusions that entities covered with. Bhakti Vinod Thakur Prabhupada explains all these kind of illusions in a book called Bhajan Rahasya. And what you're asking is Bhakti Vinod Thakur Prabhupada says is an illusion about one's identity. That's illusion of one's identity. What is my identity? What is my identity? Right now, if I ask someone, who are you? They may say, I am John. I am a member of this family. My mother's name is this. My father's name is this, right? So, but what is my real identity? This question was asked by the Goswamis to Chaitanya Charitamrita to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The question is very nice. So, Jivera Sarupa Hoy Nitya Krishna Das. According to Chaitanya Charitamrita Das Goswami Prabhupada, Jivara Swarup. Swarup matlab eternal constitutional position of a living entity is Jivara Swarup Hoy Nitya Krishna Das. Nitya, eternally servant of Krishna. That's who we are. Constitutionally, we are servant of Krishna, part and parcel of Krishna. Okay, theory ho gayi, ab how do we get there? That is a whole strategy. How do we get there? Just Jnana is not Vijnana. Mataji, did I answer your question? Vandana Mataji. Would you like to- Do we have more questions, Devika Mataji?
Yes, Mataji. I think this is going to be a last question. This is from Rohan Varma Prabhuji. I have been chanting Gayatri Mantra. It is said to be supreme mantra above than any other mantra. So should I switch to Hare Krishna mantra now?
So Krishna says, of all the poetry, I am Gayatri. He doesn't say Gayatri is the topmost. Well, Gayatri mantra is given by a guru. It's not so easy to get Gayatri. Gayatri is, and there are 7 Gayatris. In ISKCON, first level of initiation is Harinam initiation, the holy name. The guru gives the Harinam initiation to the disciple. And when that disciple, the guru notices, is progressing and it is developing Brahmanical qualities, then the guru gives Gayatri. That's called Brahmanical initiation. So the guru has to unfold the Gayatri. So unless and until we are getting it from a parampara, that Gayatri has no potency. But Hare Krishna Mahamantra is very special. One need not be initiated to start chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. It's very, very special. And Hare Krishna Mahamantra has all the 7 Gayatris, the zest of all the 7 Gayatris. It has. So don't think that when you're chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, it's called Mahamantra. All other things are called mantra. This is Mahamantra. Don't think that when we are chanting Hare Krishna, we are not chanting all these things. We are chanting every single Vedic mantra which has been coded in Hare Krishna Mahamantra. It's a very powerful mantra. I am no one to tell you what you should give up, but I am someone to tell you, please take Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Okay?
Okay. Shall I read the next question, Mataji?
Mataji? Yes.
Yeah. This is from Shirshi Thare. Hare Krishna. My daughter is asking why we are here, that is in the bracket born, and why we continue to live. What is purpose?
Yes. So why are we here? Very nice question and very intelligent question a small child is asking. Or I don't know what is the age of your daughter. Maybe I'm speculating. Why don't you unmute yourself?
My daughter is 38 years.
Okay.
Highly qualified, but just recently, last few months, she is asking such questions which we are not able to fully satisfy her.
Then tell her to come here. Tell her to come here. This is the whole fundamental question of one's existence. Why are we here? Why are we here? Yes, why are we here? Come on, fast.
Because we wanted to come.
So that's one of the reasons why are we here. Because we wanted to get separated from Krishna. I will tell you a story which you can tell your daughter. Once, we are all part and parcel of Krishna. Krishna says, right? You are all part and parcel of me. Very easy. Then in the 18th chapter, he says, Sarva dharma parityajo mam ekam sharanam vraja. Aham tvam sarva papebhyo moksha shami masacha. Simple, very easy. Give up all kinds of dharmas and just surrender unto me. I will take care of you. Do not fear. But we don't want to do it. We don't surrender to Krishna. So the story is, once the senses went on strike. Okay, the eyes, the nose, the tongue, the hands, everybody went on strike. What was the reason for strike? What was the demand? Because anywhere there is a strike, there is a demand. The demand was why stomach should be the only organ to enjoy. And the hand said, I have to go cut food, cut the vegetables, cook, pick up the food, and tongue says, I have to put it in my mouth. I have to let the my teeth chew it. The nose says, I have to smell. The eye says, I have to locate where the food is. Then why stomach should enjoy? Why only stomach? We are on strike. अब हम नहीं बनाएंगे खाना. So, because stomach is enjoying. So everybody basically wanted to enjoy on its own. Then what happened? Tell me, Prabhu, what will happen if all the body organs go on strike because they don't want to feed the stomach? What will happen?
Will stop to exist.
So they will grow weak, right? They will grow weak because without feeding the stomach, the hand and eyes and nose and tongue cannot get nourishment independently. Like that, we desired. We can desire. We have independence to desire, which we will study in 15th chapter. Ardha Mula Madho Shakham Ashwatham Prahuravyayam. So we will discuss there that we have an independence to desire. That's it. We desired. Why Krishna should be the only enjoyer? Krishna says in 5th chapter, Uktaram Yagana Tapasam Sarvaloka Maheshwaram. He says, I am the enjoyer of what? Yagya and tapasa. Whatever yagya you're doing, sacrifice or tapasya, austerity you're doing, I am the enjoyer of all the universes. So we said to Krishna, how can you be the only enjoyer? I want to enjoy independent of you. Krishna said, try. You can try. So Krishna made this material world and sent us here, but we are not able to do it. So we are here because we are trying to be independent of Krishna. That is the real reason why we are here. What is the other question your daughter asked?
Why we continue to live?
Because we are not coming to the realization that to the basic reason of why I'm here at the first place. Once we know the disease, then only we can look for the treatment. Unless and until we come to know about the disease, we cannot look for the treatment. Krishna consciousness is a treatment, and then bring your self back in the consciousness of Krishna. And that is the only purpose of the human life. That's what Srila Prabhupada was saying. Now you are in a human body, inquire, who am I? Athata Brahma Jigyasa. Inquire, who am I? You know, Narad Muni says in Bhagavatam, 10th canto, evaluate, who does this body belong to? Evaluate. He says there, does this body belong to the mother? Because out of the mother's body. So does this body belong to the mother? Or does this body belong to the mother's father, Nana? Because Nana can say that my daughter is my part and parcel. So actually this grandchild is my part and parcel. So, or does this body belong to the owner? Sometimes the body is sold as a slave, right? Some people buy the body and pay money. So does the body belong to that master who the body has become slave to? Or does the body belong to the fire? Because after death, some people offer body to the fire and the fire eats the body and converts it into ashes. Or does the body belong to the earth? Because some people bury, right, the body. Or does the body belong to the wild animals, dogs, jackals? Because some people throw the body away and it becomes the stool of these animals. So who does the body really belong to? Mother, grandfather, the master, the fire, or the earth, or the wild animals? So the verdict Narad Muni gives is the body belongs to Krishna. It is a gift from Krishna. So when it is a gift from Krishna, then it must be used for Krishna because it is a property of Krishna, right? Unless and until we come to the realization. Jnana is one thing. Vijnana or application of that knowledge is another thing. Unless and until a living entity comes to this understanding that I belong to Krishna, my only duty is to develop Krishna consciousness, and I should cultivate that consciousness, then we'll keep on dying. We'll keep on getting birth. We'll keep on growing old. We'll keep on getting disease. We'll keep on changing species unless and until this is done. Okay.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So one more question, Mataji. This is from Kailash Shah. Yesterday,
Okay.
Mataji Yesterday, Mataji, you had showed the link for Prabhupada's lecture, chapter wise. Can you explain again how to proceed?
Okay. So that's prabhupadvani.org. That's Mataji, this is the website, prabhupadvani.org. We are trying to upload all the Prabhupada lecture in our website, iskonmangaluru.com. So very soon you're going to not have to go this way, that way, where you're just going to be situated and belong. You will become the property of Shri Shri Radha Govinda very soon. But in the meantime, press this transcripts and these are the lectures. So let's say you want to hear Bhagavad Gita and you want to hear chapter 1, go to chapter and then the Bhagavad Gita comes. Okay. So prabhupadvani.org. But in a month or so, you don't have to go anywhere. You can be just at your home. Thank you so much. Oh, please stay on because now we are going to have the Darshanarti. And if your schedule allows, please stay on. Please relish today's Ekadashi. And then we are going to have Srimad Bhagavatam class. So Srimad Bhagavatam, Amalam Puranam. Srimad Bhagavatam is a sense of all the Vedic literature. So
Mataji, there is one last question. You want to take it?
Sure,
Just now it came. Yeah. This is from Kamala. So if the body belongs to Krishna, what about any other religion like Muslim, Christian, etc.?
Yes. Are you here, Mataji? I was expecting this question. Mataji, please unmute yourself. Kamala Mataji.
Yes, ma'am. This is Harshit, from, son of Kamala. You can answer me the question.
Okay, thank you. So I'm going to show you communication because we think that all other cults are different than Krishna consciousness. Srila Prabhupada, I'm going to show you this, okay? I'm going to request you to read what Srila Prabhupada says. Krishna and Christ. So this is Prabhupada's discussion with Father Emmanuel in Frankfurt, Germany. Okay, Prabhu? Prabhu, can you read this? Srila Prabhupada, where are you? Please read this.
Okay, what is the meaning of the word Christ? Christ comes from the Greek.
Please read to all of us.
Yeah. What is the meaning of word Christ? The Christ comes, and the Father Animal answers that Christ comes from the Greek word Christos, meaning the anointed one. What does that anointed mean?
Meaning the one that is that's loved, the lovable one.
Okay.
Prabhupada.
Prabhupada says Christos is the Greek version of the word Krishna. Okay. Father Animal says this is very interesting.
Okay, so
yeah.
The word Krishna. So Krishna is present everywhere. Okay, so don't think that Krishna is saying that I am Hindu God. Krishna says I am God.
Yeah.
He does not say I'm Hindu God. He's God. He's the only God. God has no such cult or religion or upadhis. God is God. Can you say sun when the sun is rising in a Muslim country? Oh, the Middle Eastern sun has come up now. Do you say like that?
Yeah, and no, not like that. Like
same sun, right? Same sun.
Yeah, same sun. Yes.
Okay, those are the cults, not the religion. Cult.
Okay. So, do they believe in the same like Christians or the Muslims? Do they believe in Krishna? So, what they will think in that perspective?
First, we have to worry about ourselves before we worry about someone else. But in case you want to know the answer, then everybody is surrendering to Krishna according to their own level of surrender. Everyone is not going to Krishna in the same manner. Okay, so Christian religion, anyone, I showed Prabhupada's interview yesterday. He was saying it on the live TV yesterday that he does not find any contradiction in any of the religious cults because the aim is to love God. If the Christianity is teaching people to love God, fine. If the Mohammedan religion is teaching people love God, fine. That's fine. Because God is only one. Jesus says, I'm son of God, but who's God? Question remains. Mohammedan says, Allahu Akbar, God is great, but the question still is remaining, who is God? So Vedic knowledge gives the answer who God is.
Okay.
So yes.
Okay. Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you so much.
Mataji, many of them have put Thanks to you for explanation and answering questions. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you for your patience. Mataji, stop the recording now, and the temple will start the kirtan.
Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, everyone. Hare Krishna.